Sonic. Yeah, we know who this little guy is. He's the mascot of one of the most well-known game companies, and the star of one of the most successful game franchises of all time. Now, Mario might have a fair chunk of the spotlight today, but back in the day, it was all about Sonic. What really set these games aside from other platformers of the day was the speed. I mean, holy shit, look at this! Sometimes the Genesis would just glitch the fuck out because you were going so fast, the system couldn't even keep rendering what was ahead of you. All in all, while the series has gone to complete shit today, the original Sonic games have stood the test of time. Now sure, a few other platformers tried to replicate the same feeling, even Super Mario World in a few places, but none of them could ever do it quite right. You know, I'm an anime reviewer, and I play video games every so often, but do you want me to review Sonic games? It's not really my thing. Oh, or do you mean that god-awful Saturday morning cartoon? You know, the slapstick one with awful art, incoherent plots, and annoying as fuck characters? God, what an awful show. But it's not an anime. Or did you mean that other Sonic show where Sonic suddenly had siblings and they were in a rock band? Yeah, that was an even worse piece of ass, but again, not anime. Or maybe you meant the adventures of Sonic the Hedgehog, probably the only good thing with the Sonic label to appear on television ever. Now, I remember watching this show as a kid being absolutely blown away. I mean, the score was beautiful, the art was surprisingly well done, the characters were extremely fleshed out, especially for a Saturday morning cartoon. It just had an epic scope overall, and was probably one of the only cartoons back in the day that held my attention for reasons other than goofy, lowbrow humor. The only real problem that I had was that this show aired the same year as the shitty slapstick one, and as a little tyke, I didn't know that there were two separate series. Like, I was constantly confused, wondering why the show's quality seemed to fluctuate so radically every episode. It didn't help that Steve fucking Urkel voiced both Sonics. That one's not an anime either. That's pretty much all the Sonic shows I know to exist, and none of them is really my forte, so what do you expect? Wait, what's that? What? No. No, 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 no. 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 Oh God, no! 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 Ah! Ah yes, Sonic X. Japan's ill-fated attempt to rekindle the early 90s love affair American children had with Sega. In terms of video games, Sonic Adventure is where it really all began to go wrong. While all the speed-oriented levels are still top-notch, it also introduced new characters that nobody who grew up with Sonic cared about, and new methods of play that nobody wanted to slog through. I mean, who the fuck is Big the Cat? And why am I fishing? Oh my god, I can't believe I'm fishing in a Sonic game. In Sonic Adventure 2, again, the speed levels are great, but what is this shit? I didn't pop in a Sonic game to play fucking Mech Warrior. It would only get worse as time went on, as more and more gimmicky shit replaced traditional Sonic speed with each title. This pretty much parallels the fall of Sonic on television as well. While the aforementioned Saturday morning cartoon was out during the golden reign of the Sega Genesis, Sonic X was on the air during shit like Sonic Heroes. I guess by the time that Secret Rings and Unleashed came out, they had enough sense to get the fuck out. So Sonic X follows a story that's pretty generic to anybody that's ever read a fanfic before. Chris, an antisocial loser that I'm sure many of my viewers can identify with, lives in real-world Earth, wishing his video game characters were real. Suddenly, Sonic and his friends cross the dimensional plane between game and reality and cross over into our world. Gee, I totally haven't seen this before. The Season 1 plot involves trying to get Sonic and the gang home by collecting the 7 Chaos Emeralds and powering some portal machine. Really? You're really gonna rip off fucking Dragon Ball?
It's over 9,000!
Sonic X is, well, it's okay, I guess, for a kid show, but there's some really fucking weird shit. I mean, why are they microwaving a full chicken? And if they want to get Sonic to come to this party, why are they launching a rocket at him? Why is Knuckles fucking that guy right in the ass? Okay, so there's been a major disaster at Chris's school, but why are they using grade school students as laborers? Why is Perfect Chaos's roar in the English dub the exact same sound effect as the dragon's roar in the Fox dub of Escaflowne? Yeah, Fox. They're responsible for localizing Sonic X, so you know there's a whole ton of shit coming up here. Just compare these scenes with the Japanese version for a minute. In the original airing, it's obvious the reporters got drunk on the wine provided with the buffet and passed out while waiting for Sonic. But in the English version, they can't show that to the kiddies, so they all fell asleep somehow. While on the job. All on a table. And those corny snoring sound effects just make the whole package. In the same vein, as funny as it actually sounds, when you think about it, there's no way Eggman is ordering prune juice. And check out this environmentalist-themed episode where the gang finds a hidden pristine chow garden. When Robotnik's machines blow up and pollute the river with oil and gas and other mechanical waste, the Japanese version has no problem with saying that all that shit is going to fuck up the hidden garden's ecosystems. But in the English version, well, environmentalists are demonic liberal child rapists, according to the neocon narrative the Fox media conglomerate spends all of its time fabricating, so they can't let the youth of America grow up with any negative stigma attached to fossil fuels. So instead, it's the mud that Robotnik kicked over that caused the river to become polluted.
It's so muddy! Hey, you guys! That river runs into the Chow colony!
That's right. Mud. Wet sand. The same thing happens to Chris's maid and Butler. They're both racially stereotyped to the point that ethnic music plays every time one of them says or does something.
I'm sure that Sonic won't give up until he brings her back here safe and sound.
Sure.
Don't you worry, Cream. I'm sure she's just fine.
And this scene in English is just confusing. He's obviously about to commit seppuku because he lost the fight, and that's pretty clear in the original. But in Fox's version, why does he feel a need to just irrationally rip off his tuxedo upon his failure? The story arcs generally follow the games for a while. The first little bit had the writers doing their own thing, but when they realized they completely sucked at it, they decided to follow Sonic Adventure's story instead. They don't really do that great of a job of it, considering that everything related to Sonic, including the Chaos Emeralds, the floating island, and everything else, should be on the other fucking planet.
Much of the city is now in ruins. The only good news is that nobody has been seriously hurt.
What? Nobody was hurt? Are you mental? He flooded a metropolis! The next arc follows Sonic Adventure 2, and it's here that I'd like to point out the fallacy of using video game plots for this show. As bad as the 3D Sonic games generally are, the first two Sonic Adventures are actually tolerable. There's no reason to watch this terrible adaptation when the games are both interactive and have the superior plot, writing, and voice acting.
Hey, that's...
That blue hedgehog again, of all places.
I found you! Faker!
Faker? I think you're the fake hedgehog around here. You're comparing yourself to me? Huh? You're not even good enough to be
I'll
my
make you eat those words!
Well, maybe not voice acting.
Make no mistake, my friend. I do not think I can beat you. I know I will.
Alright, they're both shit. The show completely changes in its final season, and it's obvious they didn't want to do it, but because Sega still wanted to milk money from the Sonic X franchise, they whipped the animation studio back to work. It begins with a baby Gardevoir telling Sonic and the gang there's an evil race of Unicrons out in space eat planets or something. I don't know, I really stopped paying attention by this point. Also, there's an adult Chris, but he somehow turns into a child Chris. I don't know. It sounds like Dragon Ball GT. Anyways, they spend the season traveling through the galaxy and doing battle with various Galactus ripoffs. Knuckles gets tricked into working for Eggman like the 9th time in the show. The space motif really presents a lot of problems. Like, how is Sonic not fucking cremated when he falls into a planet's atmosphere? How are they running around on the outside of the ship while it's traveling at light speed? This is like watching a furry version of Star Trek, and Star Trek is already really shitty enough on its own.
Chris, increase auxiliary engines to maximum power. Roger, increasing power now. Turn to mark 3.1.
Are you sure this is a good idea? They're turning too!
It's a laser blast. The Metarex are firing at us.
All shields up!
Also, Eggman's kicking around the galaxy for some reason. They never fully explain... What? Did you see that? Why is Tails a her? Are Sonic fans really that stupid? We've been referring to Tails as a guy for 63 episodes, not counting the 17 years that he's existed. So the final battle against Lavos takes place, where they explain their evil plans. Ooh.
Planet Egg is water. Chaos Emerald is light. They both give us power. This water and light that make all plants grow will now give birth to forestation!
So you're the ultimate evil tree huggers. Right. Of course, Sonic goes Super Saiyan and vanquishes them all. This looks remarkably like the fight against the ultimate life form from last season in Sonic Adventure 2. I guess they really ran out of ideas.
You know, I'm fucking glad that bull is over. But it doesn't end there. For a shit-sucking bonus, how about the Sonic 1999 movie?
Well, this is actually pretty cool. I mean, the art's a bit messy, but it's classic 90s anime. Music has that Genesis style to it, and it fits well. Tails' workshop has some great atmosphere to it.
Sonic! I finally finished it! See, isn't it great? It's a...
Oh, holy fuck! These are the most annoying voices I've ever heard!
Not right now, thanks.
Sonic, what the hell have they done to you? So, everybody lives on floating islands in this movie. Even the White House is there. Surprise, surprise, Robotnik's taken over. And yeah, they use Robotnik, not that retarded Eggman bullshit. But Planet Freedom? What? Freedom?
No, Planet Freedom is made up of two separate dimensions.
In the comics it was Mobius, in the games it's Earth. Where the fuck does freedom come from? Ha! These robots disappear like in the games too. That's one big problem with video games movies. They always take game mechanics and weave them into the movie. There's disappearing enemies, randomly placed spikes and springs, and even a bonus stage. Like, what the fuck? Listen, guys, this never works. Do you remember how bad the fucking Mario Brothers movie was? Well, at least Ana Lucia didn't have to combine 5 missing pieces of a weird crest and set it inside of a door to open the fucking thing. Also, when Sonic confronts Robotnik for the first time in the White House, we get the chance to see some really bad artwork. This isn't just classic 90s anime unaided by digital instruments. This is just sloppy. So Robotnik kidnaps the president's daughter and plans to bring her back to his hideout for some surprise sex. And then the president wants Sonic to go rescue her. Also, I think she's got the hots for Sonic 2. Wow, maybe she's the basis for that god-awful Sonic 06 game. Anyway, Robotnik's base is below the floating islands, and here's where we get to the generic storyline of Sonic. Every game, comic, movie, television show, whatever, all have one thing in common. Sonic takes place in a post-apocalyptic Earth. In the new 3D games, they retconned it to be during the present-day Earth, but fuck that shit. And I guess the first time I finally pieced it all together as a kid, it was a really cool idea, primarily because it was my first post-apoc scenario, even more stuff like Chrono Trigger, but, you know, now that I'm older and I've seen it done much, much better, this reveal is just kind of generic and lame. Also, Knuckles shows up sometime, but there's no guardian of the emeralds or anything like that. He just kind of floats around, which begs the question. How does he just float? Flying is not the same as gliding, Sega.
I'm Knuckles. I'm Sonic's best friend.
Knuckles is not Sonic's best friend. Did you idiots even play Sonic 3? Robotnik is also really demented. I mean, what the fuck is up with his mouth? And why does he turn into a liquid when he jumps inside the cockpit?
Sonic will never again be a pain in my egg!
Really? Can't you just have said ass? Hell, we've got Metal Sonic looking up a girl's skirt and Sonic giving the middle finger, and you can't see the word ass? So the final act of the movie is dominated by the battle between Sonic and Metal Sonic. It's actually a pretty cool fight. I don't completely understand Metal Sonic's reversal at the end, though. It literally comes out of nowhere. Now, where have I seen this before?
It's over, Anakin! I have the high ground!
You know, Metal Sonic is actually a pretty cool villain. It's weird they didn't utilize him in Sonic X. I wonder why Sega's left him oh, yeah. Right. And the movie just ends with laughably bad slapstick and a run off into the sunset. Yes, that's right, Robotnik just tried to rape your daughter and your girlfriend. Let's have a fun dash off in the distance together. Fuck, this is so goddamn bad! Like, you think some of the newer Sonic games rate the series? That doesn't hold a candle to this shit. Oh, modern Sonic, why can't you be more like your adopted brother, the Saturday morning cartoon? Why did you have to be the final nail in the coffin for one of the most beloved franchises of all time?
Fuck! Shows are goddamn awful! Sonic, what happened to you? Ah! Alright. Alright. Just gonna calm down. Just gotta get back to my game.
Freak Knuckles, and we're at Pumpkin Hill. You ready? I ain't gon' let it get to me. I'm just gon' creep down in Pumpkin Hill. I got to find my lost piece. I know that it's here. I can sense it in my feet. The great emerald's power allows me to feel. I can't see a thing, but it's around somewhere. I'm gonna hold my head, cause I have no fear. This probably seems crazy, a graveyard theory. Our ghosts try to approach me and got leery. Asked him a question and he vanished in a second. I'm walking through valleys, crying pumpkin in the alley. Didn't seem happy, but they sure tried to get me. Had to back them up with a fist metal crackle. I'm hearing someone saying, you a chicken, don't be scared. It had to be the wind, cause nobody wasn't there. I searched and I searched as I climbed up the wall. And then I started to fly, I went in deeper. Let it get to me, I'm just gon' creep down Pumpkin Hill, I got to find my lost piece. I know that it's here, I sense it in my feet. feel. I can't see a thing, but it's around somewhere. I gotta hold my head, I have no fear. It probably seems crazy, a graveyard theory. A ghost try to approach me, he got leery.
Get a load of this!